Yo, you will not believe the Diddy drama that's been unfolding. It's like a movie, but way darker and with way more implications for everyone involved. Remember Gene Deal, the former bodyguard who's been dropping truth bombs about the bad boy era for years? Well, he's finally speaking out in detail about Diddy's sentencing. And it's not pretty. First off, let's recap the situation. After years of whispers and allegations, the feds finally raided Diddy's mansions, and now he's been sentenced to 50 months in prison on charges related to sex trafficking. 50 months might sound like a lot, but in reality, he's only looking at serving around 2 years. 2 years for everything he's been accused of? That's what Gene Deal's saying. Diddy got off easy, like a fat rat in a cheese factory. Deal has always maintained that Diddy would eventually face the music for his actions. He's been consistent in his accusations, even when it put his own life at risk. Remember, Deal claims Diddy put a hit out on him because he was speaking out. That's the level of animosity we're talking about. So when Diddy got sentenced, it was a moment of vindication for Deal, but also a moment to reflect on the bigger picture. Deal's not shedding any tears for Diddy. He's straight up saying, "That's my enemy." He recounts instances where Diddy allegedly tried to sabotage his life, setting him up and threatening him. He doesn't care about Diddy's pain or suffering. He sees it as karma finally catching up. But here's where it gets even more twisted. Deal believes Diddy's relatively light sentence is due to him cooperating with the feds. He thinks Diddy ratted out other people to protect himself, and in return, he got immunity for a lot of his crimes. Think about it. Guns and drugs were found at his house during the arrest, but he wasn't charged for any of that. Diddy, along with Suge Knight, has been saying this for a while. They're convinced Diddy made a deal with the devil, or in this case, the feds, to save his own skin. It is wild to think about the implications of that. If Diddy did cooperate, who else did he implicate? Who's going to be next? The streets are definitely talking, and it makes you wonder about all the other powerful people involved in this whole mess who are walking free. Are they untouchable, or is their time coming too? The whole thing is a stark reminder that power and money can only protect you for so long. Eventually, the truth comes out, and people have to face the consequences of their actions. But is 2 years enough for the kind of allegations that have been swirling around Diddy for decades? That's the question a lot of people are asking. Then you got Diddy's legal team pulling out all the stops. They were straight up saying he was a civil rights activist. Can you believe the audacity? Like suddenly Diddy's marching for equality? It's a joke. They were throwing anything at the wall to see what would stick, trying to paint him as some kind of misunderstood hero. And the speaking engagements? That was next level arrogance. Booking gigs in Miami like he was guaranteed to walk free. The judge definitely took notice. Word is that stunt might have actually made his sentence worse. It showed a complete lack of remorse and a blatant disregard for the seriousness of the situation. They even brought in a re-entry specialist trying to spin the speaking engagements as healing sessions. Please. Cassie's letter to the judge paints a chilling picture. She's still living in fear, having moved her entire family out of New York because she's convinced Diddy will come after her. That's how much damage he's done. Her testimony was brutal, forced acts, constant abuse, a decade of being controlled like a puppet. It's heartbreaking to hear what she went through, and it's a testament to her strength that she's been able to rebuild her life. Even Diddy's apology felt hollow. He said he lost his way, got lost in the drugs and the excess, but where's the genuine remorse? Where's the acknowledgement of the pain he inflicted? It all feels like a calculated move to try and soften his sentence. And the lawyers? One of them was crying in court. Crying. It's hard to tell if it was genuine emotion or just another tactic, but the prosecution called Diddy a master puppeteer, and that seems pretty accurate. He's been manipulating people his entire career, and it looks like he's still trying to pull the strings from behind bars. Now his team is saying the judge was biased, that the encounters were consensual. They're already planning an appeal, claiming the sentence is unfair, but come on. Diddy got 2 years after decades of alleged abuse and threats. What was he expecting, a medal? They're even trying to get him into a special drug program, RDAP, to shave up to a year off his sentence. The thing is, to qualify, you have to prove you had a substance abuse issue before the charges. It's a long shot, especially considering the violence involved in his case. A felony involving physical force is a major disqualifier. There was even an alleged attempt on Diddy's life in prison. One of his lawyers claimed a guard stopped an inmate from shanking him. It's crazy because you'd think something like that would leak, but nobody heard about it until the sentencing. Now they're using it as another reason to get him moved to a low-security prison, maybe even a camp. And the fact that none of his baby mothers showed up to support him speaks volumes. It says a lot about his character and the relationships he's had with these women. It's like everyone's finally cutting ties, realizing they don't want to be associated with him anymore. It's a mess, a complete and utter mess, and it's far from over. There are still more lawsuits pending, sealed testimonies, and federal investigations. This is just the beginning of Diddy's reckoning. So, the big question is, who's next? The feds aren't just going to stop at Diddy. There are too many whispers, too many rumors of other powerful figures involved in similar behavior. It's like opening Pandora's box. Once you start pulling at the threads, the whole thing unravels. You gotta think about the music industry, Hollywood, all these places where power and influence run rampant. How many other Diddys are out there, hiding in plain sight, protected by their wealth and connections? It makes you wonder how deep the rot goes. And what about the victims? Cassie's story is just one example. There are probably countless others who have been silenced, intimidated, or simply forgotten. It's easy to get caught up in the drama of the powerful falling from grace, but we can't lose sight of the real people who have been hurt along the way. Their stories deserve to be heard, and they deserve justice. It's not just about putting people behind bars. It's about changing the culture that allows this kind of abuse to thrive. It's about creating a system where victims feel safe coming forward and where perpetrators are held accountable, regardless of their status. That's a tall order, but it's essential if we want to prevent this from happening again. Think about the message this whole situation sends to young people, especially those aspiring to make it in the entertainment industry. If they see powerful figures getting away with abuse for years, what does that tell them? It tells them that anything is possible, that the ends justify the means, that morality doesn't matter as long as you reach the top. That's a dangerous message, and it's one we need to counteract. The whole situation feels surreal. To see a man who was once on top of the world, a cultural icon, brought down like this, it's a reminder that no one is above the law, that karma eventually catches up. But it's also a reminder of the devastating impact of unchecked power and the importance of speaking truth to power, even when it's scary. I keep thinking about that inmate who allegedly tried to shank Diddy. Was it a Tupac fan, a Biggie fan, or just someone looking to make a name for themselves? The fact that it didn't leak until the sentencing is wild. It's like the prison system itself is part of the conspiracy, keeping secrets and protecting the powerful, and the fact that Diddy was so sure he was getting out, booking speaking engagements is just mind-blowing. The arrogance is off the charts. It's like he thought he was untouchable, that his charm and influence could get him out of anything. But reality hits, and it hit hard. Now he's facing the consequences of his actions, and the world is watching. It's a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most powerful can fall. I imagine Diddy sitting in that cell, alone with his thoughts, finally forced to confront the reality of his situation. No more private jets, no more lavish parties, no more entourage. Just four walls and the weight of his past. It must be a terrifying experience, especially for someone who's used to being in control. But even in prison, he's still trying to manipulate the system, trying to get into that drug program, trying to shave time off his sentence. It's like he can't help himself. He's always looking for an angle, always trying to get an edge. The next few years are going to be interesting. The appeals, the lawsuits, the investigations, it's all going to play out in the public eye, and who knows what other secrets will come to light. One thing's for sure, Diddy's legacy is forever tarnished. He'll always be remembered for the allegations, the abuse, the cover-ups. He can try to rehabilitate his image, but the damage is done. And as for who's next, only time will tell. But I have a feeling this is just the beginning. The floodgates have opened, and the truth is finally starting to come out. The reckoning is upon us.